Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for meeting me.
Oh, thank you for meeting me.
All right, let's start this interview by, if you could give me, tell me a time when you set a goal and were able to meet or achieve it.
All right, so at the beginning of this year, college was a big thing. So getting all applied for college and filling out all my essays and things. So in September, I set a goal that by October 15th, I would have all my college essays completed and all of my applications turned in, and I reached that goal, and I submitted all my essays and all my applications, and now I'm just waiting.
You're waiting to hear?
I'm just waiting to hear.
Where are you
now.
going to school?
I applied to Loyola, Marquette, and Madison, and I'm hoping to get into them.
Very good. All right. When you do planning, organizing, describe, how you handle your schedule suddenly interrupted. Gets suddenly interrupted. How do you handle that?
Well, I feel like a schedule is just kind of a set plan, like on what you would prefer to do. So generally, like when I get my schedule for work, I have like certain days that like I'm scheduled to work, and sometimes I'm called in to come in early, like on busier days, and I'm fine with that because like if I'm needed, I'm more than happy to come in. Or if someone needs to switch shifts, or if someone like can't work and they want me to take their shift, I'm more than happy to change my schedule.
Be flexible. Good.
Yes.
Tell me about a time when you worked effectively under pressure.
Friday and Saturday nights, this restaurant gets pretty busy, and I feel like working under pressure is actually better. Like when I'm put on wait staff and things, like when I don't have so many tables, I feel like that's when I forget things. Like I feel like I'm so like it's so slow that like I don't have anything to do, so then I forget the things that I have to do. But when it is busy and I am working under pressure, I tend to organize things in my mind, like, okay, well, I have to do this.
Lackadaisical in that situation.
Try and like plan everything out in like order of importance and just try and.
Okay. Give me an example of when you were unable to complete a project on time.
Last year in my AP Lang class, we had two papers that were due at the same time. One was a research paper and one was like a rhetorical analysis paper where we just had to like talk about how the author like wrote. And I kind of prioritized one over the other, and I spent much more time on my research paper. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to turn it in on the deadline, so I talked to my teacher in advance and just like let him know that like it wouldn't be completed, and that he then extended my deadline and knew that it wasn't just because I was like lazy, but I'd put more time into the other one.
Excellent. Okay. Good thing you're talking to the teacher about it.
Yeah.
Describe a difficult situation or difficult decision you made in the past 6 months. What made it difficult?
Okay, so again with college is a huge thing, and everybody makes it into this huge deal, and everywhere you go, like family members and everyone's like, well, if you applied to college yet, like where are you going to school? And I feel like it was a really difficult decision to figure out where I wanted to apply, just because like people want you to apply to so many places when really you have like a few set places that you want to go. And when I tell people I only applied to 3 schools, they think that that's crazy, and like I feel like making the decision to just apply to those 3 schools was difficult because there are harder schools to get into, and what if I don't get into those schools? And it's just like a scary time. And then I figured out that like in the end, hopefully not, but if I don't get into any of those schools, there are other schools that have later deadlines that I could apply to after I get my decision.
That was my next question for you, is what if you didn't?
Yeah, yes, okay. I have a plan.
Excellent. Tell me about a time when you had to deal with a very upset customer or coworker.
People get upset, I feel like, a lot more often than they should in some situations, but you always have to be like calm about them. I dealt with Lloyd the time when he called and his cookie, it was too warm and it fell on the floor, and he was swearing at me, and like he was so mad, and you just gotta be like, Lloyd, like I'm sorry that happened, like would you like to speak to someone? Whenever people are upset, I make sure that like they're going to talk to management, because it's not my job to deal with upset customers. So when they get upset, I always ask them if they want to talk to management, and most of the time they do, and then I go get a manager.
Okay, good. Times that they don't, still tell the manager.
Yeah.
Describe a situation where you were able to effectively read another person and guide your actions by understanding of their needs and values.
As a server, going to tables and like just kind of reading their personalities and whether or not it's like a table you can joke around with, or a table that's going to be like super like, this is what I need, and kind of like picky and needy about things. So customers that have children, generally like smaller kids, like they like to joke around and like joke around with their kids. And sometimes you have older couples like that, like Charlotte and then the other two couples that always gets like the salad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like those kind of couples, like you can tell by like them like talking to you more and just like reading them and like their personalities.
Good idea. Give me an example of projects or tasks you started on your own.
Right, so I'm president of my school's Key Club, and so in that position we have to like figure out, me and like the board, we have to figure out a ton of different projects that we want to do with the club and like how we want to organize them. And last year was my first year starting as president, and we started the teddy bear takeover, and we placed, which we were originally going to do here, but then we had so many teddy bears, but we put big bins at like the high school and all of the elementary schools, and we had parents and students and things collect all old and like gently used stuffed animals, and we donated them to like women's shelters, and we donated them to Waukesha Hospital.
Excellent.
And like just organizing that was difficult, and making flyers and putting it in like the newsletters.
It's a neat idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, it was
That's
pretty
cool.
cool. We originally, like the sheriff's department has like a thing where like they collect, I can't remember what it's called, but they collect teddy bears, but then they give them like out to like families like that they go and see like with the sheriff's department, and they get so many people that do that. And actually, like with the women's shelter, we started like working with them again, and like with the holidays and things, like we're gonna start donating socks and have like a clothing drive, just because like apparently socks is like the most needed and the least donated item.
Really?
Yeah, so we're gonna collect socks this November.
That's
So
cool. Let me know when you start that.
yeah, okay.
Maybe I'll
Give me
something
some
to
socks.
put- Yeah, give me some socks. Okay, if you complete your work and your supervisor is unavailable, describe how you would stay busy.
Okay, so I feel like this happens a lot here. So especially when there's two people on counter, like on a weekday, we always like separate jobs and like all of our counter jobs and like try and get everything done right away. And if there's no silverware or anything, we sometimes like walk around and pick up things in the dining room, just try and bust tables that servers haven't done. Answering phones and cashing people out, just kind of like taking care of people as they come.
Okay, doing your job.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a manager of a small business, and one individual is continually late for work, taking extended breaks, etc. How would you approach that issue?
I feel like the first couple times that it happens, like everything is like it happens to people every once in a while, and just like talking to them and trying to figure out why, like maybe there's a specific issue that happens to them every day that like I'm unaware of,
Sure.
and just like asking if they maybe could be scheduled later, and just like trying to work with their schedule. And if there is like a legitimate reason and I work with that reason and they continue to be late, I feel like another warning is necessary. But if like that continues to happen, they might have to be let go just because they are not like respecting the establishment.
Okay. You're a server at a restaurant, and a customer of one of your tables becomes irate, yelling and disrupting other customers' dining experience. Discuss how you would diffuse the situation.
Luckily, that's never happened to me. No one's ever been really upset about anything. But if people were causing like a scene or whatever, like I would probably go up to them and as their server be like, I'm sorry, like is there something I can help you with? Like what is wrong? And if like hearing what they say, go and get a manager and walk out with the manager and have the manager diffuse the situation more. Just because like people always feel more comfortable when they're talking to someone of authority, knowing that like their problem can be fixed.
They feel there's something could be done about
Yeah,
it.
like that, because I can't really do anything about
Okay.
the problem.
Yeah. Describe your ideal boss.
You. A boss that takes your feelings into consideration and makes sure that you feel needed and like has something for you to do, so that you're not just like standing around. Someone that is organized and like wants and like cares about their employees.
Okay. What supervisor or leadership roles have you had?
As I said before, I'm president of my Key Club, and in that role, like besides just like planning events and things, like talking to like club members and things.
Okay.
This year we started something
Like through work then?
through work. I'm a trainer, and
So it was over.
I train a lot of new people, and it's fun to train people because like everyone's different, and like some people like catch on to it more quickly, and some people enjoy talking to people. And I feel like not only when I'm training the people am I in like a leadership role, but then like throughout their job, like when they need help, they're gonna come to me and ask me about it because they know that I know what I'm doing and that I'm like helpful in those situations and I'm not gonna be rude about it. And like just helping them along the way and like if they have a question, answering them and kind of guiding them.
Why do you think that you were put in a position to be a trainer, and in turn, what are your strengths or weaknesses that you have?
I don't know. I feel like
What are your strengths?
I'm organized in my training. Like sometimes before I train, like when I know I'm going to at home, I make little note cards for my people, like just separating delivery and carry out. I feel like it's really helpful. Like it's a little cheat sheet. People always leave
I
them
think
too,
it's
and it
fantastic.
makes me so upset. Like they always leave them here.
Putting their name on it has helped, because then there's times where I see it and I tell them, hey, that's yours, keep it with you.
And I'm always like, how could you leave this here? Like I made this for you.
I'll tell you, one of the main reasons I put you as a trainer is because you know the job that so well. Because you do a really good job at it, you can pass that information on to your fellow employee that is just coming on.
And I feel like just like, not so much that I do, like, I feel like I do my job well, but I feel like a lot of people do this job well. It's just like, I feel like I'm able to explain how to do it in the sense like, I feel like the computer system too is set up very easily. Like some people, like when they train, like they kind of hop around for a lot of things, but also I've been training for a while, so I kind of understand how like people learn best. But just like following the program and like going down.
It's easier.
Yeah, and there's so many buttons on the computer and people get really frazzled about those kinds of things. So I always like take my hands and like I'm like, this is what's on it, like how you set up subs, like this is on the subs, like these right here, or like only say these because these make no sense, like no one's gonna eat that
And a
with
lot
that.
of that is your experience.
Yeah, and just trying to pass that knowledge on to people, it makes the job easier.
Okay. One last question. Tell me about yourself.
Oh man, about myself. I feel like as a person, I'm very like passionate about things, and like I feel like I can get worked up about things very easily, and not necessarily like in a bad way, but like in a good way too. Like I get excited, and I like to talk to people, and I feel like this is a nice job. Like it suits me well, just because like I'm talking to people and like I'm like trying to make them have a better experience. In my free time, I kickbox with my sister, and it's a lot of fun. And we recently started doing it last year, and I feel like it's made me more like, I don't know, like not organized, but like aware of like what I'm doing and like just very like prepared like for things.
Sure.
We don't do it so much as for like to protect
Physical.
ourselves really, but like I feel like it is a useful tool just because like we are young girls and like it's a scary thing, but it's very like team based, even though it's like kind of like you are fighting yourself, but like everyone that goes to my gym is really friendly, and like I've made a lot of new friends there, and like
Excellent.
I feel like it's very fun.
Okay. Excellent. All right.
All
I
right.
think we're done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.